Okay, sir. So, with your permission, can we start, sir?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, sir. Uh, Very good evening, members. It is always indeed pleasure for me to welcome to all of you on behalf of Varacha Katargam CP Studies Circle of WRC of ICI Surat. Before we move ahead, I request every member to put your hands on your heart for our ICI motto song. Thank you, members. Members, our study circle always arranging a seminar which will benefit to members at large in their practical life. And for that, today we have arranging a seminar on a different topic that is opportunity for chartered accountants with Neobanking. And for that, we have a very eminent, dynamic and learned speaker, CA Varun Nirmal sir from Bangalore. Sir, our study circle acknowledge your virtual valuable presence.
Thank you, Prashant.
Now I request CA Arun Viradia, convener of our study circle, for welcome address. Over to Arun Bhai.
Thank you, Prashant. First, thank you, Nirmal sir, for being here. I welcome all the members on this virtual platform for today's program on neobanking. We are all familiar with the word banking. We are just in informal words. Banking is just a basic word of our profession. So banking, we have commonly used the banking, but today's subject is something different than normal banking. It's called neo-banking, and we are first. This is the first seminar on our study circle for the member on neo-banking. This subject, which is totally different and which are not in regular practice of our profession. And Varun Nirmal sir having good depth knowledge of the particular subject from Bangalore. I acknowledge your presence, sir, and thanks for accepting our invitation to share your knowledge with us on the particular subject with us in members of study circle. Thank you. We welcome all the gathering. Thank you, sir. And over to Prashant.
Thank you, Arun Bhai. Now I request CA Krishna Lathia for giving a formal introduction of our learned speaker. Over to Krishna Lathia. Krishna Bhai, unmute karjo.
Thank you, Prashant Bhai. It's my pleasure to introduce our today learned speaker, CA Varun Nirmal ji. Varun ji is a fellow chartered accountant and CPA with 20 years of professional experience in handling international accounting, auditing, income tax, and advisory function for India, US, and Canada clients. He is currently managing partner in Kashmira Nirmal and Company. He specializes in cloud accounting, US taxation, US gap training for cloud accounting and its implementation engagements. Mr. Varun has his career worked with various KPO companies for implementing finance and accounting processes offshore and on cloud for SME clients. He managed US accounting and tax practices for their firm currently. With this introduction, I request our today learned speaker, CA Varun Nirmalji, to start the session.
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Prashant Bhai and Arun Bhai, for inviting me to the session. It is indeed a pleasure to actually share the limited knowledge. In fact, this subject is actually pretty new, but and for chartered accountant, I feel that this is the next wave which we probably can ride on. Apart from last, everything has a decade, right? So when we see from 2011, 10 to 20. 2000 to 2010 was a computerized accounting. From then we moved to cloud and other stuff, like we started using technology. This particular decade would be of improving more efficiency for us, and this neobanking is the wave which we should be riding on. In today's session, let me share my screen. So what we are going to cover is basically over the next 1.5 hours, and then we'll open up the floor for Q&A. Is how the so we have, as Arun Bhai mentioned, right, that we have been hearing about banking, but this is like neobanking. What is neobanking? Evolution of neobanking, I will actually put it like in a timeline how it comes in, how it compares with our traditional banks, which we are actually on a day in day out we are dealing it with the particular clientele. Significance, this is most important. Key aspects of neobanking, what is its significance and how we can leverage for our own practice. Few of the tools which are available for neobanking tools, which we can actually use in our day in day out practice. We use that tools as well in our firm. And opportunities for CAs, what are some of the other services which we probably can kind of like explore due to this technology boom on neobanking side. So with that, I'll start on the particular agenda. So if you see technology, right, as we see, right, over last 1 decade, and I remember like when I passed out my CA, there was a internet banking, like even I would say if the banking was evolved from a normal banking wherein we were actually going to bank and giving the check for withdrawing the account, withdrawing some money. After that, the introduction of ATM came, and then that there was a net banking, and now with a whole lot of UPI and other stuff which are coming up on that. But across sectors, we have seen that technology innovation has happened across sector. If we consider food and hospitality, right, there were traditional restaurants. Now we are seeing that Zomato and Swiggy have actually are the platform which have used the existing infrastructure, and based on that, the user experience has been transformed. Ultimately, what Zomato and Swiggy are doing is actually basically a convenience for us. Similarly, on the taxis side, right, there were taxis available wherein we were actually going on to, we may call our own auto guy or maybe a taxi or a travel agent. Ola and Uber has democratized that and put it in a way that you can actually, using the same infrastructure, using technology, they have actually, what they have done, create a platform wherein there would be a standardized and transparent experience for where my car is or where my auto is or what would be the fare and all like that. Similarly, on the good side also, we have actually, as you see in Surat, we have many shops, but most of them now we would be started selling online also. Our client would have, most of the clients have started selling online, be it in Amazon, Flipkart, Udan or Meesho, wherever it may be on that. But what it has done is that it has actually made the convenience of shopping and for consumers very easy. Even most of the stores, right, we have actually, they also have now gone online. The store is like an online store which has becoming, even I may be having a shop, but I might be having one more store which is actually going on in that one. And then there are tools which would have it. So across sector, we are seeing that within the existing infrastructure, we are actually seeing that using technology, they have transformed the user experience. Similarly, on the real estate side, we are seeing OYO and WeWork, how they are actually doing it. Like WeWork and co-work and all, they are actually using the same office premises and putting it into a better user experience. If you ask in a layman's language, WeWork is nothing but a kind of a technology backed solution for business center, which we were having earlier. During my articleship days, there were in Ahmedabad, like there were many business centers where people were actually getting one shared space. So, and each of them would have a cabin. So that is nothing but they have actually expanded that and put it into like a scalable solution. Similarly, for retail banks, right? We are seeing there are many banks like it started from nationalized bank, then there are private bank which are ICICI, Kotak, HDFC. Now, there the evolution is happening right now is on neobanking side. Neobank, and I'll come into the definition of neobank as well. What is neobank? But it's considered that this is a new way of banking, which is backed by technology and which will transform the user experience. Now, customer experience is the main limitation, or I would say weak point in the traditional bank. And during a survey which was actually done, so most of the, if you see their traditional banking, including the internet banking, because traditional banks have evolved from a regular bank to a internet banking services. We have ICICI, HDFC, SBI, net banking, everything is there, but there are still limitations are there in terms of either the vendor payout, or in terms of accounting, or in terms of taxation, or how the file and or like a kind of a UI and a UX is user experience or user interfaces, or a sign-in process. And at the same time, some app crashes are also available, happening frequently. So lack of service offering also, that from this particular app I am not able to get my card thing, or I am not able to get my loan. And so some of the private banks have geared up on that one and they are on the technology path. But since all the banks consider that most of the banking function or banking services which they provide, their core is banking, their core is not technology. Technology is not their core, so they will not be able to build some of the solutions which they probably customers may need it. And that is where this from their gap on the consumer side. Let's say for consumer side, there was a consumer finance, that's where Paisa Bazaar and Slice and digital lending, like they came in. Paisa Bazaar is giving you which are the loans available at which rates on which platform, on which bank. Slice is actually nothing but even a your expenses, right? You can actually bifurcate or put it into an EMI thing, or even prorate into like 3 friends or like that. That is how Slice is coming in that one. Retail accounts we have, like for saving account and for current account, right? Neo, Jupiter, Razorpay X. These are the one which are open. These are the on the retail side. And on the wealth management also, banks where traditionally banks are not technology backed. So we have like some of the solutions of SBI asset management, or HDFC net banking, even as HDFC wealth management, or so mutual funds. And this their person will come and physically sign and they will allocate and all. What Grow, Zerodha, Wealth Tech have done, or InMoney have done, is that they have actually using technology as a backend, and they are using technology as a layer, core layer, and then on top of all this banking, they are actually sitting on top of that. And that is where they are consider this like a on top of banks are having some of the limitations. They may be providing 1 to 6 services. Customer may need 10 services. Of those 7, 8, 9, 10, these are the people who will provide, and that is nothing but a technology, because of the technology layer which banks are having. So that is the main crux of there are key pain points on the consumer pain point on the traditional banking side. And I'll come to this slide, and that is where the digital bank, neo-banking is coming into a picture in that one. Now, if I see the timeline of, as I described, how net banking somewhere in 2000, 2001, and I remember ICICI was also a very, very new entrant at that time. There was a trust issue with ICICI, and in 2002 or so, there was most of the people were afraid about removing ICICI's liquidity, and they started withdrawing cash as well. So Kotak came in afterwards in 2004-5, but banks started offering browser-based banking services. Internet was actually picking up. So bank started offering browser-based, then they started offering mobile-based also banking and SMS transactions, the stuff on that. But the main with the evolution of smartphones from 2008-9 onwards, that is where banks started offering full-fledged net banking services. And 2016, and at the same time, there was some payment revolution was going on, wherein Freecharge and Paytm and all, they were actually sitting on top of banks and giving some of these services. But with demonetization, these e-wallets and all got a spur in 2016. And we all know that how Paytm and after that Amazon Pay, Google Pay, Phone Pay. Phone Pay is the biggest player, followed by Google Pay on the payment side of it. And at the same time, existing private banks also, what they did, that existing bank like Kotak, they came out with a concept of 811, which is nothing but their digital bank. You can actually, everything you can do digitally on your mobile phone or on the internet, no need to go on branch or so. So they are developing, but since their core is not that technology, they will take some time on that one. So they are evolving. ICICI has come out with pockets, and SBI has YONO. But because of these limitations of existing banks, companies like Open, Jupiter, Razorpay, FI, they have actually come out and started providing services for neo-banking services. Now, if you see the structure of banking in India, there are scheduled banks and there are differentiated banks. Scheduled bank will have public sector bank like SBI, PNB or Indian Bank. Private sector bank, HDFC, Kotak, ICICI. Foreign banks are there. These people largely serves our clientele is being served by public and private sector mostly. And if there are foreign customers or HNIs, they would be having some Citibank or so. Over a period of last 5-6 years, we are seeing that small finance bank has also come up for you aiding all the smaller business units or farmers or micro industries. Ujjivan Bank is there. Then there is there's one more company name which I forgot, was from A to B or some. There was a company apart from Ujjivan. Paytm is also there. Paytm Payment Bank has come up. Airtel Money is also there. So these people are actually catering to a specific segment of maybe a small or micro or services. As far as our clientele is concerned, primarily is getting served by public and private sector bank. But RBI in India, the neobanks operating model, neobanks are operating into a 3 model particularly. One is that they can be a standalone, separate digital only bank. But unfortunately, in India, RBI does not allow a separate license for only digital only bank. That's why most of this particular segment would be out of question for India. In US, it is there still, Revolver and Neo is there. But most of the neobanks have to actually they are like standalone platform, which will partner with some of these licensed banks. Say, for example, say Razorpay is there, or Open is there, or Jupiter is there. So now Jupiter has partnered with IDFC Bank. Open has partnered with maybe ICICI and other bank as well. Razorpay has also partnered with ICICI and RBL Bank. So what will happen is that in this case, RBL is the banking license provider, but all the technology is being powered by Razorpay. or open in that case. So that is how neobanks is basically a partnership between traditional bank. In India, unfortunately, neobank cannot exist in its own like a digital bank. They have to partner with a traditional bank because unless and until they have a license, then digital only bank cannot get a license right now. Wherein neobanks bring the engagement and layer, so they will be front ending it, and the bank which is there, maybe RBL, ICICI, HDFC, or IDFC, would be the technology, would be the banking provider, only the banking provider. Now, let me see let me list the, this comes to our question, what is neobank? Neobank is nothing but, if I have to put it in a way, that neobank bridges the gap between services that a traditional bank offer and evolving expectation of the customer. Say, for example, as I said earlier, right, 1 to 10, like there might be 10 services I may need. Of that, current my SBI may be providing 4, and that is over a period of time my expectation has increased. So SBI is providing 4 or 5, ICICI, HDFC, Kotak may be providing 6 or 7, and the remaining one, all the 10, like say there might be another 2 which would be provided by this neobanks. So which brings to the definition that neobanks is nothing but a digital virtual account or a virtual bank which does not have a kind of a physical presence. It will work in partner with, in India, particularly in India, it works with a partner bank model, wherein there would be in backend some bank would be there, either RBL, ICICI, HDFC. But a pure definition of a neobank is that it is a digital bank which will have no bank. Consider this as a your online digital account, wherein you will be able to receive deposit and you will be able to make the payment. Everything would be there online only. All the documentation, everything will happen online, and it will be a predominantly all the services which traditional bank offer, plus there would be 2 or 3 additional services which they offer on that one. So that is the definition of neobank. Neobank is nothing but a digital bank which works as a technology as a main layer, and then banking is the all, it has all the services which banks offer, but with technology backed, because of the technology with its backing of the technology, it is able to provide all the services which are ongoing even other than what the traditional bank offers. And what are those services, we will see in this slide. Now, I just want to see the trend. If you see the trend over the last 2 years in India on the investments. So we have seen in 2020 about 5, FarmPay, Razorpay, they raised about 100 million, 13 million, 2 million respectively. Jupiter raised in 2021 131 bank. So Jupiter 5, which is 62, where I say Open also become a unicorn just now. Flowbiz, Razorpay also raised now. Razorpay is like a 7.5 billion enterprise right now. So these are all the neo-banking platform, which are companies which are actually working on neo-banking, and there is an immense amount of funding which is happening in neo-bank. Because as I said earlier in the first sentence as well, that this decade, right, is going to be fundamentally transforming the way the banking is being done. Now, when I say banking is being done, is obviously banking has evolved over a period of time. From a check to India has actually still moved from check to all the NEFT and all other UPI transactions also. Now, from there also, it is actually, that is UPI and all is primarily impacting most of the individuals. But from a business current account perspective, neo-banking is actually changing the landscape, and the trends are actually at least showing that in the next 4 or 5 years, it is only going to increase at a kind of a 46% CAGR, compounded annual growth rate. So the volume of transactions through technology in neo-banking happening is going to go to at least 94 billion in the next 5 years, up to 2026. Now, let's compare this one. If I have to compare with a traditional bank with a neo bank, right? So simply to put it perspective, we have when we open up a current account, I'm talking about, let's say current account, there would be a long waiting time. Here, there is no wait time. You actually submit all the documents online and they will be processed it, KYC and all that's happening online only, because they have, they are built on those particular things. So they interact with either Aadhaar or GST portal or income tax PAN as well. From there only they actually do it. Cooling period for any payment. Let's say when I'm making making a payment for any other, I may have 12 to 24 hours or maybe more. Here there is no cooling period. You actually added an instant confirmation is there. An instant payout can be happen. Vendor payment pay confirmation also happens instantly. Tax, when we are doing tax, many of the traditional banks will offer creating a challan, but that challan, I mean, you can make the payment and that challan would be there, or it would redirect to some of the NSDL or GST side. Here, all things can happen within the system itself. We know that there are many banks which are offering now the bulk Excel upload as well. Here, there in through Neobanking, you would be able to even capture the bill also. Vendor can actually send the bill, and from there only TDS and automatically can be deducted. You don't need to even see and put it in the Excel or in an accounting system. What would be the and I'm giving the possibility, which is actually the some of the tools which are giving full vendor management, including the GST bill is being paid or not, or which has been uploaded on GSTR1. Those stuff, accounting integration, we have right now few softwares from Zoho, we have QuickBooks, even in Tally, we can actually upload the bank statement, or Zoho even brings the accounting or bank statement into their own system. But that is more like a pull. Here is basically you don't need to even enter it. Here, as soon as the payment is being made, it is actually synced with accounting as accounting entry is being passed. So all the accounting entries, which we are primarily, if we see as a flow, which we would be doing, many of the, like collecting the documents and then entering it and then sending it to the client that, okay, this is the TDS or so. Those stuff is all possible in the through neobanking. In traditional banking, it would not be possible. I am not saying that traditional banks will not do it, but because they are having some legacy system like SBI, ICICI, they are having their own legacy system to build to a technology which is we are right now talking about Web3 also. Now these are basically on Web1. These are many of the platforms are built on Web1. So Web1 to Web, they have not even migrated to Web2. So to go to that, they may take another decade, and that is where this particular neobanking advantage is coming in. And these are most of the venture capitalists are backing on neobanking. And eventually, also the hope is that they probably feel that these people may get a banking license in themselves only afterwards. If the RBI through RBI, some of the circumstances may change. App crashes, we are seeing. Vendor and customer payment notification, those in like the in net, if I see, right, the user experience in a traditional bank and a neobank is far better, as if like assuming that you are actually using a kind of a Gmail, right? And like how in Gmail, how we are very easily able to use Google Drive or compose the mail or even search and star mark as well. Similarly, that as well. By the way, one of the other things in the neobanking is that if your documents are on Google Drive, it will actually extract from there itself, which is difficult to go into the neobanking side. So that is overall user experience in as compared to traditional bank. Neobanking has a different, it's more of a technology experience, I would say. Now, key aspects of neobank is that it is an internet only or digital only bank. In India, I will put it along with that, I'll put it in the last point. This is, if you see maybe in US or UK, this is true. This statement holds true. In India, this statement has to be more like internet only or digital only bank, but it has to be partnered with a partner. They have to work on a partner bank model, wherein digital only is not licensed. RBI has not given permission to be only a digital only bank. That is why they have to partner with any existing bank. It can be in any existing bank which we are having, and most of the time we are seeing in the neo banks like Open or Jupiter or Razorpay or so, we are seeing that these people have partnered with either ICICI, RBL or IDFC, because these are at least from a technology perspective, little bit ahead of all other banks. I'm not saying that they are very tech savvy, but at least they are ahead in the curve as compared to the other banks which we are having on SBI or HDFC. So technology is the key layer, superior customer experience. It integrates, this is very important, it integrates with your business system, be it accounting or tax system, vendor management or payroll. So consider that right now, if I see the flow, if I have to put it out like a picture it, right? We probably would be having some documents which a client will be sending us, and then we would be entering, or those we would be recording those transactions into a accounting software. From accounting software will maybe then they would be making the payment. If that payment entry from bank statement will be recording that payment, or they would be sending an intimation that this has been paid, or if we are managing, it has been paid. So that entry will pass and then reconcile it. Then TDS entry, TDS payment and all calculations at the month end. And then we will see that GST reconciliation, whether this has been uploaded or not. And same time, if there are payroll, then we do the payroll in Excel and manage that, upload that file, make the payment. Now, all these systems, right? Accounting, tax, these are all, business works in a one manner. We are at one point of time, we are working at other point of time, and then we have to actually, as an accounting firm, we probably would enter it. And as we enter that or record it, there is a time consuming in that one. So we probably would be, if see our firm before this session, we have been able to do for about 35 clients on a monthly basis in India. I'm not talking about the US part, which is little slightly higher on that one, but on India side, right? 35 startup monthly client, where we are doing all the CFO services client, CFO services, but the for following up on TDS, OTPs, and all was becoming a very big challenge in that, because they have different. If we by using this some of the tool on neobanking, it has been at least streamlined. When I say streamlined, accounting piece has been totally streamlined. Tax is there, but vendor management, yes, we still are a little bit struggling on that one because of the contracts and other stuff on that one. But accounting, tax, and payroll has been totally streamlined. Now, this neobanking provides some of the other services which traditional banking does not provide, like if a small business owner wants a corporate card, they give a corporate card for reimbursement, which can be actually tracked separately. So these are all for I would say for IT services or service-based client or professional services providing. There it will, I mean, this would be early adopters, I believe. These would be early adopters, because those for the, or startups as well, these are the one where they need those services. And I will go back to this particular slide, that evolving expectation of customers. So evolving expectation of customers is primarily, if we see our set of customers on services side, maybe IT service, be it IT services or be it professional services, that is or even some of the startups, their need is primarily slightly complex, or on a month when we are doing a monthly CFO services, that is where this neobanking will come and help. Now, neobanks in India, if you see, Jupiter is there, Fi is there, OpenX is there. These are B2C bank, which opens, like they are B2C, means they are only opening saving bank account. Having said that, Razorpay X and Open are other B2B bank, neobank, that opens up current account for businesses. So you actually get Open and all, right? This also gives you AR dashboard, accounts payable, everything in one thing. All the entire accounting is also integrated in that way. So that is how neobanks, at least right now for B2B, for businesses, RazorPayX and Open are the two neobanks. And for savings or for a salaried people, Jupiter, FI, X, they give credit card, they give loan at a concessional rate and other stuff on that one. So that is on the B2C side. Now, why it should matter to us as an accounting firm or a startup accountant, I'll put it in 4 points, I would say. So if we see across, we have been facing as a CA firm, right? Most of the chartered accountant firm, which we have also interacted earlier, and our firm also was, still we face on an ongoing basis collaboration and communication with client and within the team also. So when I say collaboration, so we know that we will say that, okay, there is a document which we wanted to send. Now that document has been sent or not, whether client has read it or not, that is how read or not. So that communication, there is always a communication, because multiple, currently it is all on communication is between emails or WhatsApp and Drive, and giving that task to my team, or to giving like something missing information to the client also. These are difficult things which are there, and collaboration and communication with the client is a major happening like a difficulty. And that is where this is the first pain point. Second is on the collection of source documents. Also, we know that we get source document from many places. Like either there might be client might say that, okay, why don't you actually, I have a client wherein he says that, okay, he gets money, he's selling on Amazon and Flipkart and on his store also. He gets money from credit card, he gets money from payment gateway like Bharat Pay, RazorPay, and he also gets cash collection also. Now, for all his monthly accounting, right, on that one, when we do, and for the tax purpose, and we have to actually see all these four platforms, which he has given access. We have to actually get the data comes from there. From that data, we have to actually populate what is we have to map it to the individual invoices. And from their individual invoices, the collection after mapping, we have to see what is the service charges of there. And on that GST, whether we have claimed or not. So those are the stuff which and source document, and always we don't know that there might be something missing also. So source document is also on Gmail, on Drive, and multiple systems there. This is the main other challenge which is there. After receiving the document, we actually also spending time on accounting and manual tasks. Now, I would like to give here one example that as far as accounting is also concerned, right? There primarily from, if I relate to my articleship days, right? There were actually manual books were there, and we were recording it also manually. We have seen those like red books which are there, Bahi Khata on the Deshinama side. So wherein the trial balance was also prepared manually, and for us, tallying a trial balance was a victory. That, okay, this was now. After that, computerized accounting came in, and computerized accounting was also from the source document you are actually input. Now, after computerized accounting, there is a cloud accounting, which is more of Zoho, QuickBooks, and Tally also has a virtual now, or like a remote access one. So you can actually do accounting from anywhere on any device, which is primarily laptop also, let's say. Now but the source document is still, we are actually, if you put the assumption that source document is same, no, source document has changed now. The document which you are getting are from Amazon settlement statement, Flipkart settlement statement, or Udan, or even RazorPay settlement statement. We are getting Bharat Pay and credit card settlement, and banking there, where UPI transactions and other stuff is there. So since these are what we do is, because there are like 4 or 5, earlier there used to be one book wherein you would give that, okay, this is receipt book or for collection, I will map it from there only. But here there are multiple things now, so I have to actually see 4 or 5 different touch points from which this document is being collected. Now, or the money is being collected, or money is being paid also, for example, multiple sources through which money is being paid. Now, accounting, I would say, is we still spend time on Excel, and to me, I think in one of the session, some of the person asked me that what is the most most popular accounting tool, or which tool which is being used by accountants here or CAs here. And my answer to that was Excel, because irrespective of whether we are using Tally, QuickBooks, Zoho, or any other platform, be it a matter of SAP or even that, Excel is the one which is actually going for most of the Excel. We do all your schedule the preparation also we prepare in this. Tax audit report and other stuff also prepare. I mean, tax audit prepare in the financials we prepare there. So even projections and other stuff also prepared in Excel. Now in this from Excel, right? Have we ever, we have to now, as we are at a crossroad of auditing being like getting minimized, in the sense there were the tax audit limit and all being increased, GST audit has gone, but there is internal audit and all which will come in. For us is basically now we have to move from one of the global trend on the accounting profession. And I was hearing in yesterday's CPA conference also night, that it is moving from accounting or assurance services to advisory services. Now we have to actually move into advisory services, wherein we advise the client on a monthly basis and we charge for advisory services. That okay, this is basically your cash flow is not going in this particular direction, it is going south, not north. That way we probably give something on that. So, but to do that, primarily we have to come out and automate our accounting thing. We have to see how we can improve on accounting services now, and that is possible using technology. Now manual tasks we are doing it, agree that we have come a long way from a bookkeeping or from manual to a computerized to a cloud, but it's now time wherein we actually can get the data directly into that, and we just, our job is to analyze and advise that. From there can we actually analyze it, that okay, how, what is going wrong, and we then by de facto will become the internal audit. So everyone, when we say advisory means we de facto we will be doing internal audit on a monthly basis, and that will help client also. And that is the expectation of the startup also. Most of the startup in Bangalore, in fact there was a survey run by Zoho or QuickBooks, I don't know. So 92% of the startups, they need advisory services only. They need advisory services. They don't, no matter like accounting and compliances is must, but at the same time, give me advice on how much is my cash flow, what would be my next 3 months projection, what would be my how much cash or fund if I have taken from VC, how much I would be able to sustain for the next 12 months or 18 months or so. So the main third challenge is on the spending time on accounting and manual tasks, which probably can be automated, and tracking tax payment on behalf of clients. So this is also one more thing wherein when we do a TDS return, we keep on struggling with challans. Like a couple of my clients have actually, they don't even store challans most of the time, and I have to actually, they will give me the access of SBI, and then we have to download all, then we match it. If some and if they are making the payment through Kotak, we don't have any access to that as well. So there are few tax payments on behalf of client which we are absolutely struggling on that. And at the same time, if we are making, the client might say that okay, why don't you make the payment and then take the reimbursement, which is also a kind of a painful thing, because unnecessarily it will increase my overhead on the accounting side of it. Like okay, this is client money for TDS and paid for that, and the challans would be in Mumbai. I have seen that many of the accounting firms maintain a separate bank account only for that one, and this is only a client tax payment account for that. So on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, challans, tracking challans and all is a tedious and a painful ask or a task which is our team does it. Now on those 4 points, right? How neobanking we actually, what is the benefit of the neobanking and how we can leverage it? Basically, most of the neobanking tools comes with a default solution for each problem which we are actually enlightened. Like you can collaborate with client within that system. Right now, client may not be willing to. There would be an approval layers. You can actually regular banks may have one approval layer or so. Here you can actually have, even as long as our intern or article clerk or our graduate staff or commerce graduate staff, we can give the approval layer to only prepare, no payment will go up. After that, it will come to us, and from there it will go to the client. That way we can actually, that level of user administration rules can be done within that. And also whenever the payment is being done, you can, vendor can get a notification. You can collaborate and you can put a note to client instantly rather than on WhatsApp also. And it can collaborate with WhatsApp, by the way. But you, within that, you can actually say that, okay, this is, here is the payment for you. He will get a notification. He will do. One stop for vendor, TDS, and customer. Automated accounting. So as I said, right, as soon as you upload any vendor bill, or even I have seen some of the neobank, right? They actually, once the vendor bill comes in, as soon as vendor we upload it, it will capture the TDS, it will do the accounting entry in the accounting system, and it will tell you that this is it is scheduled to pay on 7th of or let's say today is 8th, that's why it is scheduled to be paid on 15th of June. And this is the TDS, and that TDS, all the payments which you are doing it, you can actually combine, and it will give one challan to be paid for 194 C, D, and or J respectively. So automated accounting is the biggest, I would say, benefits for us. And also TDS and compliance management is and seamless collaboration. Seamless collaboration with client, I would give an example is by, as I gave that you can assign some task to the client. A client will actually put in, and then it was basically the payment will be processed or the collection will happen. You can also do any of the vendor background check on the GST and other stuff. And when I said that accounting reconciliation, right, is done automatically, obviously that will improve our productivities. Now, if those accounting tasks which my team is doing for say for, I think let's say for accounting tasks they are doing maybe managing 30 or 35 or 40 clients, but the same thing now they should be able to manage 80 clients as well, because in
Hello.
our profession we have limited resources, or resources crunch is always there. So within that resources, how can we expand also? That is something which we probably can take benefit of neobanking. And real-time update to client for receipt and payment is given. But net, if I have to summarize this on the benefits, is like better collaboration with the client. You can automate accounting and improve productivity. These are the 3 main benefits which I see. Obviously, with this particular 3 things, I would be able to add on because now this A is the tools are available and time is also available. Tools are available, time is available. Because of that, I can actually now venture out into a virtual CFO services practice. Virtual CFO service practice, by the way, is just a way. There are multiple sessions also heard, and for the benefit of our all members, right? This is the newest service which we are actually probably most of the accounting firms are actually getting into. All the CFOs are actually trying to get into. Virtual CFO service is basically managing their right from bookkeeping to accounting, compliance, and reporting, all the services, and advising to the client also, including the monthly advisory to the client. And then in return to that, client will actually pay a monthly retainership. Now, many small clients cannot afford a full-time CFO for 2 lakh rupees. But what if they can actually pay 30,000 or 35,000 or 40,000 rupees a month, and our time is being shared among 5 or 6 or 7 servers? That is the new CFO services, which is actually virtual CFO services, which is getting more and more popular, even in the US, even in India, and now with post-COVID, one of the trend which has come in that global also. So we from here, Ahmedabad, Surat, Bangalore, wherever we are, we can serve world. There is nothing like we cannot serve any other when I say like country. One of the immediate opportunity which I see for and Prashant bhai, we should do a separate session also on that particular thing, is on the UAE side. UAE next year, June 2023, there is a corporate tax coming in, and because of the corporate tax on the businesses, there is a threshold limit, but most of the businesses which are there, about hardly 2.2 only in Dubai I'm talking about, but we are not talking about the GCC countries. But first wave came in on the VAT side, which is mainly where invoicing companies came in. Now for services, right, as a services on the Dubai and Gulf countries, primarily UAE now, where next year onwards, it is all going to be, everyone has to maintain their books of account. And India is, Indian accountants are sitting on a very kind of, I would say, like a good position to serve them. And Dubai is not that far as well. It's like one city, like from Surat, if we go to, you come to Chennai or Bangalore, it is similar, like you can reach in 2.5 hours to even Dubai as well. And that is where bigger opportunity will come on the virtual CFO services to all the UAE clients. But to serve them, there would be all, because it is also on a technology layer, right? So most of the technology. So if we are already on using some of the stuff on Neobanking, it would be easier to actually serve those clients, and that turbulence or bump will not be there. So that's, I would say, the new line of service line of CFO services. And payroll as well. Payroll is also a bigger opportunity coming up. Many of the I think there was a payroll software company only. They did an analysis that most of the people who are having more than 100, I would say more than 50 employees, they have stabilized using some of the application. But people who are having employees between 10, 20 or 10 to 50, they are still on Excel. And this is where what we probably can, payroll as a service line can be a bigger opportunity in itself as well, because payroll has its own compliances of payroll TDS, payroll professional tax, PF, ESI, if at all applicable for those things. So those compliances, along with that can be a bigger, one more area of services which we use through Neo, because Neobanking tools has payroll as well on it. So now I'll touch upon one of the tool only. So there are two tools, I would say, on the Neobanking on the business side of it. Jupyter, FI, Flowbiz are all on the individual consumer side, which probably I would not know. But on this tool, which probably we use it, if you see, Razorpay X is one of the Neobanking platform, and this is their kind of like dashboard which is there. So it actually has the main center as current account, but then you can receive payment like through Razorpay, like payment gateway, either any of the payment gateway or Razorpay payment gateway, NEFT, all will come here deposited. And then there is a vendor payment, payout link, payroll, insurance also is there, is a tax payments and vendor payment. At the same time, you will need corporate cards, or there is a working capital requirement. This based on the data, and here is the example where, since banks, Neobank are having data on its own, right? Data on that technology layer, they would be able to instantly analyze and say that, okay, this is your eligibility and you can do it. Which I believe even our existing current bank for saving customers, I have seen, like say for many businesses, I am not too sure, but for individual customers or salaried customer, I have seen that they are using it. But ultimately, current account of this is the Neobank current account, and this is being the center, and these are all the receipt side, payment side, payroll side, card also, and then reporting also. It gives all the reporting. So ultimately, if you see, and then also it goes into business reporting is nothing but your accounting tools and all. So the future, if you picture it, right, picture would be that, okay, you're currently banking, accounting, business collection, business payment, all are disconnected. This will be now at a center layer, that particular concept that the neobank is at the center. Accounting is also connected. Collection and invoicing is connected. Payment is there. Cards are also there. Loan, if at all you are taking, or borrowing if you want. And reporting of that. Well, reporting means accounting and all compliances will be here as well. So you will be able to navigate through entire thing from one dashboard, single dashboard. This is their main dashboard wherein they are having some payout. This is just a tool which account statement, contacts. So if you see, this is their regular banking screen. Now, if is that compared to our regular maybe HDFC or a ICICI or even in fact SBI also, here the user experience is much more better. Tax payment means all your challans will be saved here, or your vendor bills are also saved here only. Vendor bill means actual vendor bill copy will be saved here. You can do the auditing here itself, and from here only accounting also you can have. So these are all vendor payment, the description. This is scheduled. You can sync it here to the accounting thing. It will show you that this has been paid. Tax and accounting integration, Zoho, QuickBooks, Tally, everything is there. You can pull data or you can push data as well. And payroll is also, the payroll has all the pay slips. And by the way, this tool is free. They are not charging this one. I think they are saying up to 500 transactions, 500 payments per month or so. So there are no charges on that as such in this way. Payroll also, they are actually giving it free only. If we are using compliances, so compliances also, if client is willing to pay on that one, then it's okay. Otherwise, regular payroll and all application is free only. TDS and other stuff. So there, all the employee documents. Good part on the payroll side which we are using is that this does the PF, PT on its own and file also. So we don't, irrespective of which state it is, they will only manage it. So this software only manages that way. That way, it's this is one of the tools. But coming back to the opportunities, right? Now, if I see the trend is moving away from assurance services. Obviously, I'm not saying that assurance, but assurance services statutory and all. India is actually going on the US side. I'm now being a CPA, and I have lived for some time in US and worked extensively on it. In US, we don't have a full-fledged assurance business. Assurance means you can actually do audit, which is either a qualified opinion or so there are three types of. One is compilation, there is a review audit, and then there is a full-fledged audit. Full-fledged audit will have either a qualified opinion or unqualified opinion. Review is a limited audit, and that is only mandated when banks or other institutes say that, okay, I need a review of financials. So financial statement does that. And then there is compilation, is just an arithmetical accuracy. Most of the CPA firms, which are probably more than 550,000 CPA firms in the US, of those, right, 95% of the people will be doing only accounting and tax services. There may be many people who would be doing accounting services only, or bookkeeping and accounting services, and no one is actually on assurance side. If I have like few of my batchmates, they say we don't do assurance at all. That is a risky proposition. We don't do that at all. India and law does not mandate it also there in US. It's only voluntarily, means when the bank is actually banks ask, or some of this SPF. I see one hand raised. Vidushi will do it in a Q&A. I'll just take up the question during the Q&A side. I'm just almost on the verge of finishing. Thanks. So if I see, India is also going on the Western path, wherein when we compare to ourselves with 30-year back, right? We were having auditing as our main bread and butter. Obviously, during the other season, right, where we call it like season, the tax audit season and other stuff. But other time we were like, it's a very lean period. Now it would be like all the 12 months, we probably, if we work with the client on a regular basis, then yeah, the practice also will be much more stable, and we will be able to grow and scale the practice beyond how only the auditing piece. And auditing, I see that auditing will be there, but auditing will become more expensive because of the risk and other things associated with that one. Risk in the sense, obviously, in terms of clients needs to value that as well. But we will move. I think India is moving more on the advisory services as well. Accounting firms are on the advisory services. Right now, if you see bookkeeping services, accounting and reporting services, tax compliance services, many of Bangalore firms, if you see, they are all doing startup services for accounting, reporting, tax compliance services. But here is a big opportunity which is coming up on mostly, and there are many people who are sitting on that virtual CFO or digital CFO. We call it like digital CFO also, right? Digital CFO services, which and payroll services and vendor management. Now, vendor management, there was a brief time wherein vendor management was a kind of, there was a bubble coming up where the need had arisen, but due to this 2A and 2B differences, it was actually a little bit deferred. But primarily vendor management right now is that when I am taking the credit, I am getting like thousands or hundreds of bills, whether that person has uploaded or not, or even as a account, like as an accountant, are we sure that whether he has uploaded? We are responsible in the accounting, we are responsible for the payments also. If we, right now, if you are doing bookkeeping or accounting, we are not doing the payment, vendor payment also, we leave it to the them. So how we can become their in-house, so instead of they hiring an in-house accountant or so, we become their virtual CFO or virtual accountant who will be doing their services. But because they cannot afford me on a full-time basis, I am actually giving them a services which is affordable to them, wherein I would be doing accounting plus compliances. Earlier they had an accounting which was accounting or an admin person, he would be sending me the data, and that is how these two main services are actually, I see a big opportunity on the moving up in the value chain. And this would be only possible through tools of neobanking tools like Razorpay, Open, and that one. And obviously there might be more also in thing, I don't know, Flowbase and all, what are they plan, Open and other, what are they plan on that one. But through using that technology, we'll be able to provide those services, and this is the bigger opportunity in for chartered. So net, if I have to summarize neobanking, right? Neobanking is nothing but a digital bank or a virtual bank which has no physical premises, and it will work on technology only through internet. It will work on that. In India, because of RBI regulations, it cannot exist in its own. That's why he has to, Neobank has to work on a partner model wherein they will partner with the existing bank like ADFC, HDFC, ICICI, or Kotak or so. And the banking rails, we call it like in a technology language, there is a rail. So banking rails are provided by IDFC or HDFC, ICICI, and technology rail are of this particular neobank company. And that is where people are betting big on neobank to be in the next 10 years, wherein the transaction volume through technology and all is going to increase because of the growing expectation of the consumer or businesses. So neobank is a virtual bank which will work in India with a partner bank, and it provides services which is not being provided by banks. So it provides services which are already provided by, say, traditional bank. Say on a if there are 10 services, 1 to 6 are provided, so they provide that, plus they provide 2 or 3 additional services, or even whatever need is, maybe it may be 3 or it may be 4 as well, whatever services is needed. Now that's and how it is important for us is that we as a chartered accountant in our traditional practice or traditional, or even I would say, as we started using technology, we are on that journey of technology, right? There, we are still facing challenges in terms of collection of document, collaboration with client, and also managing the tax payments, and lastly, the accounting. Accounting being done is basically more of a duplication of the work, because we are actually taking output from one entry to one software and we are entering into other application. The technology tools, right, like neobanking tools, enables them to collaborate with each other, and all those disjointed tools will be becoming one available on a single dashboard, wherein you would be able to manage your receivables, manage your payables, payroll, reporting, business reporting, compliances, everything through one platform. That is on the that is the use of and if we use that, it will help us grow, save time, improve productivity, better collaboration, and obviously with that saving time, we would be able to expand practice into a virtual CFO service practice, or even vendor management as a service. Also, we can actually give payroll and management. So that's I wanted to cover on this one. I'll open up the floor for questions, Prashant Bhai. So thank you very much, Prashant Bhai, but we'll take up the questions if the members are having one.
Okay, sir. Yes, there is a one hand raised by Vidushu madam. Please unmute herself, please.
We can actually take on the chat as well if you.
Okay.
Sir, actually,
Yeah.
I had a query. Like,
Yes.
yeah, as you said, now CA firms are handling 30 to 35 clients. Later on, by using the technology, they can handle 80 to 85 clients
Mhm.
by neobanking.
Yeah.
Basically, it's Razor Pay and Open, those
Right.
things.
Correct.
But not to be on a wrong side, but the
Mhm.
thing is, Razor Pay now they are advertising for their software, saying CAs are not required in between. Whatever compliances are required, you can do it from our software, and CAs are not required for you. So that is the statement they are using while
Oh, is it?
advertising the
Oh,
software.
okay. So obviously, see, they may want to use that, but we know that actually, see,
Sir, we
irrespective
know
of
client doesn't know. We know client doesn't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Obviously, right. Absolutely. So see,
I don't think sir it is increasing the client base. I think it is they are taking away the client. But I personally I am also from Bangalore, and I
yeah.
know this like, so that's why I wanted to listen to this new banking
Uh-huh.
opportunities. What is actually opportunities are there for CAs? That's what.
Yeah. So I feel, see, that is I'll tell you how the scenario is happening in the US, right? When you say there is actually a firm, so I'll give you two examples. There is one of my friend Manen Kothari, where we work closely on that, CPA in Illinois. Now they with their staff of about maybe 25 people or 27 people, they are managing about 60 to 70 clients. Now there is on one hand, but consider them that actually they have grown up from 2001 till this they are on the right, but not very still they would not be, I would call, like a very they are adopting cloud technology, but or cloud and the other tools are on the technology, but they are not very fluently using it. Now there's another firm in California, and quite a bit funded as well. And now they are having, with 75 people, they are managing 1,000 clients. Can you be, and those clients, they are actually charging also $500-$600. Obviously in California you can charge that much, but
Well, mentality of Indian and mentality of foreigner we cannot match, because
no,
Indian mentality is completely different.
yeah. So, but to answer your question, so I am saying with the technology, we obviously if we use it to its optimum, where I see the main, as I said, right, those four challenges which we face on the accounting, I would say accounting entry, right, because the documents are all online in a different application, we can actually, through this tool, accounting entry time can be saved, collection of the documents can be saved, so collection and saving, because we would be then storing that document in a drive, and then those are also unproductive time which we will not be billing. So that is something which will help us save time, and obviously save time will help us grow few of the clients, I would say.
Sir,
But to answer your question on the Razorpay side, that CA is not needed, I mean, they may want to advertise that, but in a nutshell, it's see, even if you are having Mercedes, you will need driver to actually drive it.
sir,
So we
actually,
are the
I'll
one
tell
who
you,
will be
sir, I
actually,
will
the
tell you the
accounting
real
firms are the one who
scenario.
will be doing it.
So sorry to interrupt. I will tell you the real scenario. Actually, what happened? We referred the client to a Razorpay for the software. What they gave us a demo, and what they did, they gave demo to our client and saying that compliance things you can handle it. The person was requiring HR related part, and the Razorpay was simply saying you can do the compliance part. You can just on a one click. No one is required. CA is not required in between. And our client only referred, and they were, I think, not aware that we are also sitting in the Zoom link. so, so that is the thing that is happening in real life. That was the reason I logged in for the opportunities. What is actual opportunities for CA?
Yeah, got it. So okay, so I got your point, and I hear that. But I think opportunity for CA with the tool is there, and without that, even if let's say someone, if they have said that you can use it, right, and your no accountant is needed or no CA is needed, that will fall. That probably that argument will fall flat, because what to do, advise that is only our compliances. Because if you see, even there are governments who will be saying that okay, for salaried people, pre-filled forms and everything, that does that mean that they will not come to us? They will be coming to chartered accountant for advising us. So I see there would be I mean those may be pitch from their side, but I don't see that. And I know actually Razorpay guy personally well as well, on the owner, founder Shashank as well. I'll put him a word as well, that if this is has been I've been hearing about in the conference.
I also know him personally.
Yeah. So
yeah.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
If any member have a query, then please feel free to ask.
Yeah, you can actually, or if they can put it in the chat as well.
I think there is no query from.
Okay. Okay.
सर ये जो आपने बताया कि आउटसोर्सिंग के लिए मतलब अपन मतलब दो कोर एरिया है कि पेरोल है और एक वर्चुअल सीएफओ सर्विस है, बराबर। वहां पे हम टेक्नोलॉजी टूल मतलब यूज करके हम वो अपॉर्चुनिटी ग्रास्प कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि वो जो आउटसोर्सिंग वाला पार्ट है वो तो सब लोग करेंगे, लेकिन ये सर्विसें नहीं दे रहे। लेकिन सर ये जब एक सीमित क्लाइंट तक तो ठीक है, लेकिन जब क्लाइंट मोर देन 30 या 40 क्लाइंट्स के लिए,
करेक्ट, 100 भी चलिए, 150 to 100 भी हो जाता है अपने क्लाइंट, उसके बाद में कैसे मैनेज। सो आई सी, आई टेल यू प्रशांत, जैसे ही हमारा क्लाइंट अभी हमारे, ऐसा नहीं कि आउटसोर्सिंग नहीं कर रहे हैं, बहुत कर ही रहे, और हम भी जैसे मैंने कहा ना कि अकाउंटिंग सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, तो बहुत लोग क्या एंड अप कर लेते हैं सिर्फ अकाउंटिंग सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करने में। सिर्फ अकाउंटिंग सर्विस मतलब हमारा काम हो जाता है कि भाई चलिए उसका मंथली अकाउंटिंग 30 तारीख को आया, तो पहली तारीख को हम मांगते हैं, तो 1 तारीख को मांगते हैं, 4 तारीख को तो डेटा आता है, और उसके बाद हम वो कर उनका TDS और वो सब कंप्लीट करके 10 तारीख को GST फाइल करके हमारा जॉब हो जाता है वो 10 तारीख को GST रिटर्न फाइल करना, फिर 20 तारीख को रिकनसाइल करके फिर रिटर्न फाइल कर देना। उसमें हम वो नहीं दे पाते कि उसको आपका इस महीने का आपका टोटल ये रिपोर्टिंग, और उसमें जो है वो हम सिर्फ बैलेंस शीट PNL दे देते हैं, या तो वो भी नहीं देते, उनका वो नहीं होता क्योंकि टाइम नहीं है। रीजन फॉर दैट इज कि इतना कि अपना जो कलेक्शन का प्रोसेस जो है उनका डॉक्यूमेंट का, वो स्ट्रीमलाइन नहीं है। अगर हम ही उनके पास एक एक्सेस, और वो क्योंकि वो उनका कहीं पे भी होगा, कोई भी ऑनलाइन स्टोर में होगा, उड़ान में, अमेजॉन, रेजर पे सेटलमेंट भी होगा, या भारत पे में भी हो, अगर हमारे पास सिस्टम सेट उसमें वो हो, और इफ वी आर हैविंग एक्सेस, तो हम तो रियल टाइम में भी ले सकते हैं, 30 तारीख तक की वेट करने की भी जरूरत नहीं होती, वो दैट इज फन। और फिर हम कुछ एडवाइस, व्हेन वी गिव लाइक हर महीने का एक मैनेजमेंट रिपोर्ट उनको दे, देन वी विल बी एबल टू कमांड ए हायर, और उसमें साथ साथ हर महीने के नोट्स टू अकाउंट्स कि भाई आपका ये महीने का इतना है, दैट इज वेयर द रियल वैल्यू विल हैव इट। हम हर महीने का ऑडिट कर रहे हैं, तो आप हर महीने का कर रहे हो तो उसमें कोई उनको दिक्कत नहीं। और सेकेंडली मैं बता रहा था कि आउटसोर्सिंग सिर्फ इंडिया नहीं, अगर ये टूल्स है राइट, बिकॉज वन इज द टेक्नोलॉजी सेम अक्रॉस, सिर्फ टूल्स अलग होंगे। अगर टूल्स अलग होंगे, हो सकता है कि वहां पे दुबई में है वो अली पे यूज हो रहा है, तो अली पे अगर हमें बट टूल्स हमें मालूम है, तो वो अली पे यूज करके आप वहां पे दुबई के क्लाइंट्स को सर्व करो। दुबई के क्लाइंट में मैंने कहा दुबई इज ए बिगर अपॉर्चुनिटी, वी शुड एक्चुअली डू ए सेपरेट सेशन। मैं अहमदाबाद में एक कर रहा हूँ सेशन, सिर्फ ओनली ऑन यूएई के लिए, क्योंकि यूएई इज ए बिगर अपॉर्चुनिटी। एटलीस्ट 20 लाख बिजनेसेस अकाउंटिंग करने के ऊपर अभी वो है। अभी जैसे मैं वो बिशन भाई को भी बता रहा था कि वहां पे 1 जून से जो आ रहा है कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स, देयर इज ए 9% कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स आएगा। हर एक बिजनेस को बिजनेस टैक्स है 9%। ना वो 9% है, पर उसका थ्रेशोल्ड है 3,75,000 दिरहम। अब वो 375 दिरहम मेरा हुआ कि नहीं, उसके लिए भी मुझे अकाउंट से लिखना पड़ेगा ना, कि नहीं। अभी तो क्या है, वहां पे टैक्स ही नहीं, तो वो जो है उसके कारण वहां पे अभी आई थिंक अबाउट 2 लाख या 2.5 लाख बिजनेसेस ही अकाउंट्स लिख रहे हैं, जो बिग 4 लिख रहे हैं मोस्टली, जो ग्रैंड थॉर्नटन अपने। अभी काफी सारी इंडिया की फर्म्स वहां पे बेस हो गया है, वो लोग भी अभी ट्राई कर रहे हैं। तो नेक्स्ट 8-10 महीने में वहां पे एक्सप्लोर होगा। जैसे ऑस्ट्रेलिया से पूरा इंडिया में अकाउंटिंग आ रहा है, तो दुबई से भी पूरा यहाँ पे आ जाएगा अकाउंटिंग का। दैट इज ए सेपरेट, दैट आई थिंक मेरे हिसाब से बहुत बड़ा अपॉर्चुनिटी है। टूल्स वही होंगे, मतलब टूल्स जो है बेसिक, हमने देखा कि सेल्स कर रहा है राइट, वो सेल्स कर रहा है, तो सेल्स के लिए कुछ और होगा ऑनलाइन टूल, तो वो हमें वो टूल का अल्टीमेटली तो अकाउंटिंग सॉफ्टवेयर में जाना है। हमारा अकाउंटिंग एक सेटअप सेंटर में होना चाहिए, सारे के सारे बाकी के जो है वो आते रहे डेटा ऑनलाइन से, रादर देन मैन्युअली। अगर मैन्युअली पंच करने जाओगे तो आप 50-100 से देन यू विल व्हाट विल हैव इज कि आपको मैं बताता हूँ ऐसे क्या होगा। जैसे ही आपके 100 क्लाइंट होंगे, हो सकता है कि आप 100 नहीं 200 300 200-300 क्लाइंट भी आप ले लो, तो आप 300 क्लाइंट के लिए आप 100 लोग रखोगे। 100 लोगों के बाद क्या होगा कि अचानक से ही जो हमारा फाउंडिंग टीम मेंबर होगा या 1-2 होगा, वो अपना और एक ब्रांच स्टार्ट कर देगा कि भाई अभी मुझे अपना स्टार्ट करना है, तो वो वहां पे ऐसे लेके। सो दिस इज हाउ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, द ट्रेंड हैपनिंग इन अहमदाबाद आई हैव सीन, कि वहां पे ऐसे कर, तो फिर वापस एक और अपना अलग से स्टार्ट होता है, फिर वो एक हो गया। उस तरह से आपको एक आई थिंक, हाँ जयपुर में भी सिमिलर ही हो रहा है ऐसे ही कुछ। तो अगर अनलेस एंड अनटिल टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं यूज करेंगे तो स्केल नहीं होगा। स्केल मतलब व्हेन आई से स्केल, वी आर थिंकिंग अबाउट 1000 क्लाइंट भी आप 50 लोगों से कैसे मैनेज करें, 50 लोगों से भी, दैट इज द विजन वी शुड बी थ्राइव फॉर। अब उसके बाद क्या होता है टेक्नोलॉजी में, देयर मे बी लिमिटेशन आल्सो, तो लिमिटेशन हो सकती है, बट टेक्नोलॉजी भी इवॉल्व होगी, दैट इज वेयर ऑल दिस टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनीज थ्राइव फॉर।
ओके, गार्गी मैडम प्लीज अनम्यूट। हेलो
हेलो
हेलो,
हाँ जी सर, ये जो एक नियो बैंकिंग में जो अकाउंटिंग है उसके टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट पे आप कुछ मटेरियल शेयर कर सकते हैं, जैसे कि उसके कुछ अकाउंट्स जो होते हैं, कुछ ट्रांजैक्शंस वो थ्रू बैंक रूट होते हैं, और बाकी के जो होते हैं जैसे एमएटीएम है, एईपीएस के ट्रांजैक्शन है, कुछ ट्रांजैक्शन जैसे रिवर्ट या पीओएस के होते हैं, तो वो नॉन बैंक से भी रूट होते हैं। तो एग्जैक्टली मतलब अभी कोई इतना गाइडेंस मिल नहीं रहा है कि कैसे उसका अकाउंटिंग करे या कुछ, तो कोई मटेरियल जैसा आप कुछ शेयर कर सकते हैं?
मैं प्रशांत जी को शेयर कर दूंगा। प्रशांत जी आप
ओके श्योर या ओके sir, one member have queried that how do you see neo banking in the international remittance business in India?
International remittance business in India, is it? I see currently I don't see most of these remittance, international remittance में आ रहे हैं, I have seen that, but gradually it will integrate. मेरे हिसाब से integrate हो जाएगा, be it through transfer wise हो या आपका Payoneer या ऐसे बहुत सारे remittances हो रहे हैं इंडिया में जैसे, और even existing bank account में भी remittance. By the way, neo banking में अगर regular, see one more thing is that as far as neo banking is concerned in India में तो international remittance is as good as your regular bank only, because आपका इंडिया में नियो बैंक without a regular ICICI बैंक या RBL या IDFC बैंक के बिना हो ही नहीं सकता. तो नियो बैंकिंग में इंटरनेशनल रेमिटेंस इज पॉसिबल ओनली, और वो आएगा ही. पर मेरे हिसाब से अभी मैंने एग्जिस्टिंग में देखा है कि वो एग्जिस्टिंग टूल्स को मैंने कोई सपोर्ट इतना नहीं है, पर ग्रेजुअली दे वुड. एज ऑफ नाउ नो, टूल्स आर नॉट सपोर्टिंग, बट eventually I see it would be.
Okay.
Yes, FIRC नहीं जनरेट कर रहे हैं. हाँ, वो मैंने वही कहा कि अभी as of now I don't see, but eventually मुझे लगता है कि down the line, maybe 1 year down the line, it should be there, as we'll see more and more neobanks. There are 2-3 more neobanks are also there, I think. एक तो clear tax ने भी कोई कंपनी एक्वायर किया है, आई बैंक या ऐसे कुछ नाम है, कुछ ऐसे.
Okay, sir. So I think there is no any query from any members. So I conclude it here. Conclude the seminar. Okay. Sir, thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful and depth knowledge on today's topic, that is neo banking, with a member of our study circle. It is very useful for us. We know something new. And there is an opportunity, there is a very vast opportunity for us to develop some new core area of practice other than this routine practice. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Prashant.
Okay. If any member have pending their membership number and along with name, then kindly write it here, so for attendance purpose.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you
Prashant.
so much.
Thank you, Varun bhai. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much.